everybody. Welcome back to another episode, episode 180 with Mr. the Homeless Fisherman, Mr. the Homeless. It's been
Mr. The
it's been episode 180. Marsh was on August 12th, episode 155. So that's quite a while. Usually, like we get Marsh on, it seems like every 20
Dude,
episodes. So it's right around 25
I know.
episodes since he was on. And last time he was on, we recorded it right here where I was sitting because he was up here in person at the time. Uh,
The
Dude,
passing bombs.
you've done so much stuff since then. But before we get too deep into it,
Dude,
I told you I have
living
something.
fast.
I have something, some big news I have to drop on you and the listeners. I haven't
Okay,
told you. Kind of
I
crazy.
haven't even heard it.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm listening.
I am leaving Guggen Squad. Can you believe that?
No,
Oh,
no,
no,
dude.
no.
Dude.
For anybody who doesn't know, there was just a video posted of a YouTuber that's leaving the Guggen Squad that we were talking about before we started this episode. So I figured that'd be funny to get into it. But we don't.
Leaving Guggen Squad for the fifth time.
Yes. But we don't need to do any icebreakers. Everybody knows who Marshall is. Marshall knows who all of you guys are, probably. And I know
Yeah,
who Marshall
hi
is.
everybody.
So yeah, so we don't need to cover any bases. But so it's been August 12th. We recorded that in July because you were still here. So that's 8 months. Well, when these guys are listening to this, that was 9 months ago, which is crazy. No,
Yeah,
not
wow.
no, say yeah, it's like
And to
17.
give you some time reference here. I'm leaving for Japan tomorrow morning. Less than 24 hours. So,
We're recording
yeah,
this the
that's
last day.
recorded.
We're recording this the last day of February, and I think you guys will be hearing this the last day of March. So it's exactly
So,
like 31 days from when you guys are hearing this. I've been busting out a bunch of podcasts, so I try to do like one a week or one every 2 weeks so I don't get too far ahead in case crazy stuff happens between here and there. But Marshall is leaving for Japan tomorrow. You guys know that. You guys, I'm sure, are familiar with Marshall. Went to Japan. What was it, last?
October.
Okay, October. Damn. So.
hmm
So when you came on the podcast last time, you hadn't even gone.
No, yeah, it was
No
before that. It
shit.
was before a whole lot of stuff, dude. I didn't think we had our fishing day, did we? We didn't have our amazing Michigan fishing day,
Uh,
did we?
I um
No, that was before.
no, that
That
was
was before,
before.
dude.
Yeah. No, we did because we were talking about it. I think on the pod, like how we had to cross the bridge and everything.
No, because we did a Patreon video. Remember?
Oh yeah, the next day before you left. So
We
we
did talk
recorded the
about it on the
podcast.
podcast.
We recorded the podcast on Sunday, and then Sunday night we had that
hmm
harebrained idea to do that 2 hours from when we fell asleep. Okay. So I mean, people, if you guys are subscribed to Marsh or if you're subscribed to either of our Patreons, we talk about it. There's a video on mine, and then Marsh has his video as well, a couple videos breaking it down and stuff. So Marshall and I had a good day of fishing after Marshall came up for like 4 or 5 days, didn't catch any freaking fish while he was here, capped it off on a really good note, and then Marshall left here. You went to Minnesota. We met you in Minnesota like 2 weeks later, hung out there for Kyle's birthday. Did you and Kyle do a Bass and Bumps episode then?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. That's right.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. So, and then you did a bunch of YouTube videos at that time because that was before you got the demonetization email and all that stuff went down.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Awesome stuff.
after that, I guess we'll pick up right after you left Minnesota. So you were up there for like a week or two after that Bass and Bum episode, right?
Right. Yeah. So I left Minnesota. I did all the fishing, did my rounds there in Minnesota like I normally do. I have the milk run pretty dialed, so I hit all the good stuff. Went back to Texas, and the first fish I caught when I was back in Texas was an 11 pounder, which was pretty cool. So I guess if you've been on I guess I posted that one. I posted a picture of it. But
Yeah.
if you've been on the Patreon, you already know this is all like old news, but we'll just drop it on here for all the people who aren't. But I caught an 11 pound 5 ounce fish. It was my first fish being back in Texas, which was very, very cool. My biggest Texas bass. That was sick. And then other than that, what happened after that? I don't know. And then I went to Japan. I went to Japan like
Yeah.
right after that
Yep.
because that was November,
But
and then October.
before that, oh no, ICAST would have been, you'd have gone to ICAST before we
hmm
recorded our
hmm
Bass and Bums.
Yep.
What did you do
Yep.
in September? Did you do anything crazy in September? Caught the 11, and I thought you did something else.
I
Maybe
think that was it. I honestly, I
was that
think that was
around the
it, dude.
time? Was that around the time you posted about the rods on Patreon? Like you did a rod rundown before you left for Japan,
I
I
think
think.
I think I did something like that a little bit. But yeah, in case you guys don't know yet, we are I am starting a rod company. We're kind of working on this. I don't know how much I can say here. I don't know when this comes out. We'll probably be launched. I'm hoping, but if not, whatever, you're gonna hear some cool stuff here. If you've been wondering what rod is this, well, here it is. This is the rod. This is the rod. This has been for me currently. This company has been over a year in the works, but
Yeah,
now this
freaking
specific rod has
forever.
been over 2 years in the works, and it's finally at a point. Like this is the final prototype that I just got 3 days ago. This is it right here. This is the one that's coming out, which I'm very very stoked about. Lots of questions, lots of lots of questions, but I promise it's coming soon. The answers are coming soon. Um, like I said, I don't know what's exactly going to be happening when this episode drops, but I can run into a little details here and there. But it's
Right.
it's it's good. Trust me, these are
You,
going to be this rod in particular is a paddleboard fishing slash bank fishing slash
you,
kayak specific rod. It's something that I have a lot of time and love into for sure.
It this to put it in perspective for guys who kind of can't. I mean, it seems like it was longer than 2 years ago, but a few weeks after the Texas Lake Fort gathering is when this all like started for you. And you said 2 years, and I'm like,
Yep.
holy crap, it's been 2 years since that. So kind of to put it in perspective for you guys to have like an
Yep.
event timeline, that was right. A couple weeks after that was right when it all started, which is absolutely crazy to think about. It doesn't
Right.
seem like this stuff has been that long because unlike some guests who I've never talked to or I don't talk to all the time, we talk every single day. So it's like
Right.
I always get
It just
updates and
flies.
stuff, and it's not like behind the scenes stuff, which is really weird because that's how it is with like bait builders and stuff too. Like they'll send me pictures or videos and stuff, and then they don't post that for 2 or 3 months. It's like, oh my gosh, I've
Yep.
yeah, wow, you have been working on this for freaking ever, and that just goes to
Literally
show for
been
people,
over
yeah.
over 2 years into this rod now, and I'm very happy with where it's at. That's it's something that I wanted to make for my own fishing, and I'm not saying it's the most original 100% idea. It's kind of like the pink lemonade, you know what I mean? It's like it is something that is sort of fresh, and it's not 100% completely original, but I put my own spin on it. This is something that I wanted for my fishing, and I think that this rod is very very cool. I think it's going to fill a niche for a lot of people. I don't think it's going to be a good rod for if you're a boat fisherman. I don't think this would be a good rod at all. I think there's certain scenarios where even I wouldn't pick it up, but it is interesting. It's something fresh on the market, something that's at least fresh in the American market over here. I haven't seen it. I don't know about you, Adrian. I know you're versed, but I haven't seen anything like this, and I'm super stoked to get it out there. I think people are gonna be very excited,
I
very very
think this
excited.
is this is like it's gonna be like a Swiss Army knife where if guys only want to buy one rod who really still conventional fish who they drag a Kitech and they're like, hey, maybe I'll fish a S waver or a tiny clash or something like that, they can be like, oh dude, like I could pick this rod up, like I could pick one rod up and kind of make like you said, maybe not necessarily take it on the boat, but I could if it's a young kid, I could ride my bike with this one rod and fish everything
Right.
I have in my tackle box.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean don't go
That's
too deep into it, but
that's
yeah, I
like
mean it's sick.
no. That's like the kind of like weird
Yeah.
like I don't know how to describe it. It's not like a conspiracy theory, but like big
The
fishing. You
concept,
know what I
like
mean?
yeah.
They tell you need 30 rods for each
Yeah.
individual thing. And just the way that I fish, I don't need 30 rods. I don't need a rod for every technique individually. Now, some people, and of course, like if I fished off of a boat, I'd want to
Full
have 10
locker.
rods on the deck
Yeah.
where I have each one dialed in, right? Obviously, that would be nice. But for what I do, I need something that is incredibly versatile, something that I can pick up and throw a multitude of different baits on. And I think there's a lot of people out there like that. They're not looking for a rod that's specifically made for 2 to 2.5 ounce jig hooked swim baits
Yeah.
that like it's
The
just like there's
float.
not like you need something that does more than that. So I've really tried to make this rod, I know it's like people will say their rod kind of does everything, but this rod to me is the perfect like all around stick. And like I said, you've seen me throwing the pink lemonade on it. You've seen me throwing the Metro, the TK, the Wake
Real
Walker, and then
rig.
even down to like,
Yeah.
dude, it's an insane chatterbait rod. It's an insane chatterbait rod. Like that is just like hands down. Anyone who picked this up would be like, wow, that's a good chatterbait rod. So
Yeah.
that was the inspiration here. We want you to be able to buy one rod that does a whole lot of things. I'm not telling you that you need to go buy our entire lineup of 50 rods. We have this one rod. It does a lot. It's a niche rod. It's for certain people. If you like it, pick it up. If you don't, whatever. It's like I said, I've made it for my own fishing, and I just think that other people will get some use out of it. That was the main goal here. You know what I mean? It's not to move an entire line,
Right,
just to make
right.
something cool and unique, right? Which I'm
And
pretty
I mean,
excited about.
I'll attest to this from what I've seen from it. So the week we were in Minnesota, Marshall had a slightly different variant of the rod, and we were
Mhm.
Nico rig fishing the Mississippi, and then 2 weeks later he catches an 11 on a Citizen on the same rod, and it's like, whoa,
Yes.
that's okay, okay, that's
Yes.
kind of crazy, That's something
Yeah.
that you don't
It
see
it
somebody doing with a Nico bait rod or a soft bait rod, and it's
no
kind of crazy to think about.
no it does it does a lot of things, and like of course there's things you have to kind of adjust for in your technique
Hmm.
when you're fishing a rod like that is sort of all purpose. You're not going to set the hook the same way on a soft bait as you are hard bait and stuff
Right.
like that. There's going to be differences obviously, but like I said, I'm not looking for technique specific. I'm looking for something that's very broad that I can use effectively with many different techniques. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect at one technique, as long as I can get away with a lot of stuff and get good at it and dial it in. That's what's mostly important to me, because dude, you're not bringing 20 rods on a paddleboard. You're bringing two. If I bring two, it's a long day.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long day if I bring two. So
Yeah.
that was the whole thought process here.
It's like going like it's talked about like where you go a mile wide and an inch deep on a subject where you know a bunch of broad stuff, but you only know a little bit about everything. It's kind of what the rod is rather than
Right,
going an
right.
inch wide and a mile deep. This rod isn't the best for, like you said, the floating jig hook bait that you need to reel sweep
Yeah,
into, and you have to,
yeah.
it's not like that crazy thing. It can do everything pretty decently, and that's
Hmm.
kind of why it has a spot in, specifically the spot in your lineup, because whatever you want to
Yeah,
tie
the
on,
spot.
you're gonna be able to land a fish with it. And it's not gonna,
Yep.
not gonna be overpowered or underpowered for anything that you're doing with it.
Exactly. And it's like a lot. I get a lot of questions about, like, dude, that is the almost the only rod I throw now. Like
Yeah.
that setup I have is so dialed that I like rarely do I ever pick up another rod unless I'm going to throw something huge. You know what I mean? Like that's the only time it's like, okay, then I'll pick up my extra heavy. But other
Right.
than that, like 95% of my fishing happens on this one rod, which is just weird. I think people think that's really weird. And I do think that there are some people who are not going to like this rod, and I understand that it's not a rod for everybody. It is kind of weird. It's a weird out there niche rod, and I don't think everybody needs to like it. But I think the people who understand where I'm coming from or fish similar to the way I do, very minimalist, just like light stuff, need something versatile. You're gonna get this rod, and you're gonna be like, oh, like I get it. Like that is rad. You know what I mean? Like that is super rad for a lot of different stuff. You don't need a whole bunch of setups. This one is sick. So
It's also
yeah,
a
rod stuff
very light rod.
coming coming. Oh yeah, very light. It's a nice rod. Trust me. You guys know I like my Cadillac reels, so I had to make sure that all the components on this thing were very very nice. This reel seat in particular, I'm not gonna say I don't know which reel seat this is exactly, but this reel seat that we got on there, the new one, is money. Like it is money. This is probably the best reel seat that I've ever picked up in general. Just it holds. One thing that was really important to me too is that this I fish a 100 size reel. This is a 100 Conquest, right? And I don't fish a 2 or 3. I don't fish a 300 on this rod ever, because I don't think that to be the most versatile, I don't need a 300 size reel. I can't
Right.
throw a Nico rig on a 300 size reel, obviously. But something that was very important to me is to make sure that the reel seat could handle a 100 size reel very adequately. You know what I mean? I could even put the little Conquest 30 on this and it would hold it well. Like that was important to me, because you probably already have a Corrado 200 laying around. If you're any somewhat into bass fishing, you probably have a Corrado 200 laying around. You could throw the Corrado 200 on this, and that setup is just ready to go.
Yeah.
Bang, dialed. Like so that was important to me,
If
is having smaller reel size, because we don't like the way reels are built now. You don't need a 300 size reel to throw a 6 or 7 inch wake bait. They're good enough now where you can throw a smaller swim bait on a 100 size reel. Um, the only thing that I think you really need a bigger reel for is if you are truly fishing so ridiculously deep that you need that much line, or if you're fishing like the Ghost with the lip in it, or like a huge choppy
yeah.
glide or something like that. You know what I mean? Something that's going to have a lot of resistance. And for, like I said, for 95% of my fishing, that is not what I'm doing. There is a time and place, but no, not mostly. So
Yeah.
that was
If you
important, is
guys
being able to.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say if you
Good.
guys are a part of the S&T cult, you definitely know the Corrado 200K, and you probably have 10 after listening to all my videos and podcasts.
Yes.
And you
Yes,
you
dude.
you texted the group something the other day that was like kind of, dude, sometimes the swim bait reel seats do not fit a 200K. Like sometimes, because the 200K kind of has a small handle base as far as like where those feet line up at. Sometimes you have to
Yep.
crank
It's
down. Sometimes you have to
it's
crank
also the
down
way,
a reel seat to get it to fit.
or like, yeah, I used to have this old problem where I would be putting electrical tape on the bottom of
Mhm.
my reel
Mhm.
seat. Like let's see, let me pull it off here so I can show the camera if you're watching. But basically, like describing it the best, this reel seat, the problem with this is the only one thing about Shimano where I'm like, come on, guys, like you guys could fix this. But this reel seat is like rounded on the
Yep.
edges. And if you fish a Daiwa or if you fish anything else, this is like never an issue. But this reel seat, since it's rounded, it doesn't fit into every reel seat, like especially the smaller reels. It needs like a very specific type of reel seat, which is frustrating. But at the same time, like the reel seat that I put on this rod is meant for stuff like this. Like it actually fits it well. You don't have to put electrical tape on it. You don't have to stuff a paper towel in there, you know what I mean, to get it to fit. Like no, it just fits on there. It just fits on there as is, and there's still room. Like I'm cinched here, and there's still like, a couple millimeters worth of there, or
Yeah.
you could keep going even further if you had a smaller reel. So that was super important. Like I said, every little, it's I'm like a little bit upset that it took this long to get it out, but also at the same time, taking this long made sure I can dial every little detail in to an exact science. Kitty cat, kitty cat. I'm waiting for the Knoll cat to jump in the van.
The goat.
I'm sure he's
Waiting
around
for
here
the goat
looming.
to
The goat, the goat to come in here and
um
start eating my bellows
yeah.
gills.
Oh, here's the cat. Hi, cat.
There he
Okay.
is. Wow, cat on the keyboard.
Um, so you're getting ready to go to Japan for the second time, and obviously, if you guys are
Dude,
subscribed to the Patreon or obviously follow Marshall, you guys get out of here, dude. You guys know that he's going to Japan for a second time. Oh my gosh. Anyway, going to Japan for a second time, what was the first time like? Was it like everything you expected it to be? Get the mic.
I think so. I think it was everything and a little bit more. Honestly, it was a for certain it was a life changing experience. Like just going there, and I know that sounds a little corny or whatever, but dude, like going there, experiencing a completely different culture that I've never really been outside the U.S. that much. Like the only other country I've been to is Belize, and Belize is it's different. Don't get me wrong, but it's not completely different.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? There's still like a semblance of like, oh, you can tell it's close to America,
right.
but Japan is just it's such an old, you know, culture that it's just crazy how different it is. But just getting there to experience the like Lake Biwa bass fishing in particular, like that is something that I don't know. It's something that can't be put into words really. There's like this crazy like looming air of suspense where you're like, dude, there's a double digit in this, and there's a double digit in this lake, and I'm not talking about pounds. I'm talking about kilograms.
Mhm.
There's a 10 kilogram fish in here.
Yeah.
He's swimming around. That is just like it's an insane feeling, dude. The food was amazing. The fishing was tough, but it was amazing just getting to experience it. And I feel like now the first trip, it was just like really hard to film anything. It was really hard to like
Right.
just it was really hard to capture a lot because I just was like looking at everything with my eyeballs. Like I didn't want to look at it through the camera because I was just like so starstruck at like, the scenery or the fish or like whatever. But this time I kind of know what's coming and I'm very excited. I'm going to be there for 2.5 months. So I'll be there May 15th is when I'm coming back. So I'll have a lot of time to just like literally live there and chase that fish. Like it's gonna be a long journey. It's gonna be a long journey, and I feel like I'm gonna come back and be like, "Where am I?" Like, I'm be a little lost, but I'm definitely excited. I'm excited. I'm nervous all at the same time. You
Right.
know.
And you just kind of explained what it was like to fish Biwa, and now you know how like I would guess how you can understand like how I felt when Nick and I were fishing that random lake after the fork event when I was like,
Right.
dude, like
Right.
there is literally a 10 pounder, pounds, not not a 20 pounder, but there is literally like there could be a 10
Yeah.
pounder right underneath us. That is absolutely crazy to me. And since
Yeah.
you're kind of more familiar with that, that like suspense into fishing and going to Japan where you're like, holy shit, there could be a 25 pounder underneath me. Like that's like two levels higher. Like that's some crazy stuff to
Yep.
think about.
It dude, it doesn't feel real. That's for sure. And then you see the fish being caught, like you catch like a
Mhm.
North Lake Biwa fish, and you're like, oh my god, even the small ones.
Yeah.
You're like, I see why like these fish get so big. It's like a little bitty like crazy butterball, the
Mhm.
fattest fish you've ever seen in your life. They're like, dude, this is perfect. All the little bait fish that are in the lake, all the biwa masu, the wakasagi, like all these crazy bait fish are like perfect, like
Yeah.
6-inch swim bait size. They're just perfect, like bass food. You're like, oh my god, dude, like this is a heaven. You know what I mean? Like everything is lined up just right there, and that ecosystem is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like a miracle, dude. Like you're looking around in America, and you're not going to find many lakes that are as healthy as that one. Like it almost doesn't exist here. So
Right.
it's kind of crazy. Like looking around in Florida, even Florida, Texas, like the best bass fishing in the States. I'm just like, dude, they don't like, you're not finding fish that are those that healthy or that big that often. You know what I mean? These guys are still even out of the heyday, like the heyday I'd say was like 2009,
Yeah.
2010, where they were catching those, world
Massive.
record class
Yeah.
fish. Now it's fallen off for sure. It's not the same, but dude, still consistently catching 13 to 16 pound fish out of this lake every year. Like, dude, it's insane. And they're just, I don't know. It's like this weird perfect storm. It's almost like I said, it doesn't feel real. It's like,
Mhm.
how did all this line up to be just right? Like in this, you know, random island out in the middle of the ocean. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just happens to be the best bass fishing on the planet. It's wild. Feels strange.
Yeah. It's kind of like California, like early 2000s. Like they realized they had something
Mm-hmm.
crazy, and after that like 8 year stint, no, it's longer than 8 years, but after that like 10,
Mm-hmm.
15 year stint, it just has not been the same. So it's kind of crazy. Do you think Biwa
Mm-mm.
has
Mm-mm.
a up cycle and down cycle, or you think it's just significantly decent fishing, like quote unquote decent fishing, like big fish, maybe not a huge numbers type of place that we know of, but it's like there's always probably the chance at catching a world record class fish there.
I mean, I've talked to enough of like the main trophy hunter guys there, and they all like, without a shadow of doubt, you ask them if it's still in the lake, and they
Yeah.
go yes. Like they are very, very confident in it. And I don't think there are as many as there were, of course,
Right.
like swimming around, but I think that the genes are still there. And I think at the right time of year, yes. Like those fish, especially the South Lake ones, they are long. Like catching a 29-inch fish there is not impossible. Like it's been done, more than once, and that's the perfect length. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's the perfect length to make a fish that big. I think it's definitely, like I said, that new lake factor. It's kind of like how OHIV was, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, a few years ago, where it drained it all down and then it filled back up super fast and it kind of created a quote unquote new lake
Yeah.
where, just a bunch of fresh water flooding in, a bunch of bait. Biwa has like a current, like a big giant undercurrent, like an ocean. So it's always, you know, fresh water. It's always new water coming in through the river and stuff like that, through the mountains, all this stuff. So I just think that it was, when it was new, it was popping off,
Yeah.
but it still is sustainable to catch those fish out of there. Like they are still in there. I don't have any doubt in my mind that there's still 20 pluses in there. Like I
Mhm.
said, you pull one of those little fish out and you're like, oh my God, that,
Yeah.
that is a ridiculously shaped bass. They look like a
Right.
square. So
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, it's here. It's here, dude.
It's crazy to think that that is like kind of not necessarily natural or not naturally, because obviously those fish aren't natural to Japan, but it's like
Right.
naturally happening there while Texas is like
Mm-hmm.
spending huge amounts of money. And obviously they're seeing like an
Yep.
uprise in the fish that are being caught with the help of technology and stuff, but still there's no 20-pound fish that are being caught or being seen or anything. Like I haven't heard anybody say anything about a 20-pound fish. And that just goes to show that like even the electronics, because I'm sure they have the same, they have better stuff out there, like with all the saltwater stuff that they run on their
Mm-hmm.
boats and stuff too, and like it's still elusive out there. So that just goes to show that while the electronics
Oh
play
yeah.
a role in it, you have to really stumble across, like everything has to be perfect to tango with a fish like that.
I think, like, in my personal opinion, I really have, and I've thought about this a lot, but I do not think that a fish of that caliber, unless it's on a bed, is going to bite anywhere near your boat, anywhere near electronics. Like, I think it's either going to be a bank fisherman that ends up catching it, or, a kayak or a paddleboard or something like that. I just don't think that fish is catchable when any sort of sonar is going off,
Yeah.
any sort of like boat
Unnatural.
activity, trolling motor. I think it's such an old fish. And I think that a lot of them, they're in there and they're all down there and they're down there, but they are smarter than that. They're very, very conditioned, and they're conditioned from a very young age at that kind of lake, you know what I mean? Where they get that much pressure. And it shows in like the actual anglers there when they discover a new technique or something that is fresh or new to show them, like a new presentation. You see people start catching bigger fish. It's not that they're all like, it's not that the technique is magic or whatever, but it's not like, and
Those
it's not
fish
that all
aren't
these
right.
fishermen are just like these are good fishermen and they're out there, you know what I mean, that aren't catching them. And then all of a sudden, like, you show them something, a fresh presentation, like they're not conditioned to that kind of thing, and it works. Like, it really does. So that's what I think, that they do get conditioned to, trolling motor, boat, like stuff like that. And uh, again, this is all like land of theory, but I'm very excited to go back this time and really put this theory to the test. Have 2.5 months to grind on Lake Biwa with my paddleboard and just see like what I can make happen. You know what I mean? I really do think that I have an advantage that way. There's less, one of my like weaknesses is of course getting to spots and getting around and being able to fish certain conditions, but I think that the advantage is for me, like being at that lake, dude, there's a 10 pounder in every cove, in every area of that lake. I think I can get them to bite. Like, that's how I feel like one of my strengths has always been in fishing is getting like weary fish to commit. Like, there's a lot of clear water fish that I think people have a hard time catching that I've kind of just understood a little bit better or had a better approach to. And I think that that's how Biwa sets up
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm kind of excited to go there and try it. I didn't get to paddleboard fish it enough last time. I only fished it like 3 times on the board, and it was also like the conditions were just weird. But this time, like I said, I'm gonna have a whole, like, I don't have any plans. I'm literally rolling up to Japan. I haven't booked anything. Like, I'm just gonna roll up and book a hotel when I get there
Mhm.
and figure it out. And that's how like off the wing this is. So only thing I'm gonna be doing is fishing. Like,
Mhm.
that's literally it. Just fishing until my arms fall off.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was it, last April was when Marsh or when Finn and Jeff were over there and they both caught two really good fish from shore. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you're there at that time, you're gonna present these
Yep.
baits that you have that maybe aren't necessarily super easy to get in Japan. On top of you're gonna be coming at these fish from a different angle with the paddleboard. Oh, coming at these fish from the paddleboard, and as well as no sonar pings, no trolling motor or anything. It's kind of like you're doing the opposite, or like you said, a new bait that these fish are unfamiliar with. These fish, I feel like, are not going to be able to comprehend that that's not a real whatever it may be. Like,
Yep.
it's swimming away from the bank, so it's not a bank fisherman. Okay, check. But
Right.
there's no boat hole, there's no sonar ping, there's no trolling
Yep.
motor. Okay, check. It looks real. One thing that you and I have talked about is whatever it may be. It seems like a lot of the Japanese baits have grappling hooks on them. So you're going to have small hooks, okay, that low
Yep.
profile, okay, check.
Yep.
I feel like you're setting yourself up very, very well for maybe not one big fish, but multiple, like 9, 10, 11 pound fish over the
I
course
hope
of
so.
your stay
I,
there.
I know that for sure. I can tell you this for sure. I'm not going to catch a lot of fish, right? Like, I'm definitely not going to go there and just sack them. Like, that's not going to happen. But that's not my goal. My goal is one big one. Like, I'd like to obviously break a PB there. That would be super cool. But like, I think that I am setting myself up to put myself in front of a fish and then have a good chance to get it to bite. Like, that is, to me, that is one of the hardest parts there is where they're at. Like, that they're kind of just everywhere. There's
Mhm.
10 pounders in every little grass, you know, every single ditch there, like, that's in the lake. Like, so it's not really about finding them. Like, you can find them everywhere, but it is about getting them to commit. And I think that that is my strength, is getting those fish to commit. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I think it's gonna be a grind. Obviously, it's gonna be very tough, but I have enough friends over there that are good at fishing that kind of have taught me, like Golson and Sammy, and like just people fishing Biwa. Like, I've learned a lot now, and I think that I'm ready to, like, apply it. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go there and just get super dialed and apply it. Like it's gonna be dope. Like I said, I think there's gonna be a lot of videos with no fish in them, but that is not important if I do end up catching a 12,
Right,
you
right.
know, or a 15 or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever I end up hooking.
What are so we talked about bringing the paddle board. For people who don't know, you do travel pretty light when you went to Japan
Mm-hmm.
last time, you traveled really light. You
Mm-hmm.
only brought literally a handful of baits. What are you bringing this time as far as like baits and gear? And are you going to kind of bring a little bit more since you're going to be there for a little bit, well, be there for quite a bit longer this time?
Definitely bringing more, but I'm gonna focus on bringing just like American stuff that you can't get over there
Yeah.
because
Yep.
like I can get a lot of if I need a tiny clash or a DRT or whatever I can get all that, you know what I mean? So there's no point in bringing that, but of course, you know, throwback stuff, the Metros, the Wake Walkers, the CT, the stuff like that, the retro, bring a lot of that, bring pretty much every working class zero bait ever made, all the big soft baits, you know, the Velas Gill 5.8. I'm really just gonna I I think that obviously I want to catch a big fish on a hard bait. That would be cool. But I think that there's not enough people who throw big soft baits over there. Like that is kind of like a weird like urban myth over
Yeah.
there where they're
Or
like,
fish
oh,
them on bottom.
they don't really eat soft baits. They don't fish them
Yeah.
on bottom. Like it's just like the way that they fish over there. It's good and it's effective. And don't get me wrong, like you can catch a big fish like that. But I just don't think you can get the world record to eat a hard bait. Like I just don't believe that in any facet. You know what I mean? I mean it would have to be a miracle of a miracle. You know what I mean? For that to happen. I'm already, I'm already for shooting something that's damn near impossible. So it's like,
Mhm.
I need to make it, I need to present
Obtainable.
something
Yeah.
that is completely real. You know what I mean? Like, I think a soft bait, whether it's the Bellows Gill 5.8 or like the Tyrant or the Citizen, like those are my baits where I'm like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen on that for sure. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on bringing. Everything else, terminal tackle, stuff like that, I can get all that stuff over there. I'm not too worried about that. Main thing is just like paddleboard. Obviously, can't get that over there. I need to bring that and my, my American lures. And
Mhm.
other than that, like it's a week's worth of clothes and my snow gear, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So are you bringing your scale and everything, or are you just gonna buy a scale over there?
No, I'm bringing my Brecknell.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you can
Uh,
get a Brecknell over there, so I don't like. I don't. I'll bring it. It's
yeah.
kind of big and bulky, but I think that's important
A little bit.
a little bit.
Are you gonna so what's Japan's fishing like right now? All the fish we see from Japan, or at least all the fish that we've been like, sharing back and forth and stuff, it's all winter, like literal winter in the snow, fishing
It's
tiny
covered.
flashes,
They're
catching
yeah,
like nine
covered in
bounders.
snow.
What
Yep.
it is really cold over there right now. It's like the same season
Yeah,
as us.
that is the one thing that I'm like not super hyped on for sure. This is the cold. The first month, maybe month and a half, is going to be strictly like bank or boat fishing. Like there's probably no way I'm going to get the paddleboard out before April for sure. I don't know. Maybe who knows? I have no idea. It might just clear up in late March. I might be paddling around, but for the most part, it is like I'm going to be fishing in the snow. Is from what I'm from what I've gathered. So I've gotten ready. I've gotten prepared. I got my bibs. I got my snow jacket and my Ushanka and like all my. I got some boots. So I'm ready to fish in the cold. It's gonna be cold. I got thin blood. You know, I'm Southern, so it doesn't. Adrian, you'd probably be fine over there. You'd think it was warm. It's like 20
Right.
degrees, but I'm definitely gonna be freezing my ass off. But I'm gonna be freezing my ass off. But you'll see videos of me freezing my ass off. So it's like, I guess it's okay, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's all a wash. It's all fair game.
you, you get to watch me. You get to watch me freeze my ass off.
There was something. Oh, are you? Well, we talked about those guys maybe not necessarily fishing on bottom and stuff. Are you gonna like drag around the Tyrant and the Citizen, like bottom bouncing
Oh,
it in those cold,
oh,
that first cold month?
oh, 100%, 100% bottom bouncing, fishing deep, like doing all of the stuff that I would do honestly at Ladybird. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of weird that South Lake Biwa actually fishes almost identical to Ladybird. Like there's like a big bridge, there's a bunch of grass out in the middle, there's structure out in the middle, there's like rocks and stuff, and it's just like you don't really fish the bank on South
Yeah.
Lake. I mean, you can, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of stuff out in the middle, and I'm like, dang, this sets up exactly like Ladybird, same type of grass, same everything. So that's a lot of what I'll be doing is boring, like dragging out in the middle, blind casting, but that's how you catch a big fish. Like, you know what I mean? That's how you get one bite and it's a big one. So That's gonna be it. Bottom drag for a month straight,
Damn. Are you like
pretty
stripping all
much.
the line off your reels and stuff just to like minimize all the weight you can before you go over there?
No, I'm gonna leave it on there.
Okay.
It's minute. It's minute, so it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't add
You know
up
what I
too
mean? Just
bad.
little stuff like that. I'm bringing enough. I'm bringing enough. I'm paying for extra check bags, so it's like whatever. I'm already paying to bring my rods over there. So
Yeah.
if I go overweight, whatever.
Are
Um,
you
I
taking
I'm that
one rod?
not. Yes. I'm bringing 4 rods. One is going to be like a backup, heavy. One is going to be this signature rod that is coming out, the short rod, and then the other two will be my like BFS rod for drop shot or whatever, and then my extra heavy for System 7, throwing the mother, the retro, CT, stuff like that, just the big stuff, the ghost, whatever I plan on throwing big over there. Those fish they do like a big bait, clearly. So
Mhm.
I don't want to be left out there without my extra heavy for sure.
Right.
That would
Yeah.
be that would be a bummer. So yeah, 3 rods, and then the one just one backup. That's like if I break one or something like that, I have an extra heavy,
Yep.
or a standard heavy,
Mhm.
an extra heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not an extra heavy, an extra heavy. So just in case.
So Keepcast is next weekend, right?
Yes, yes. 8th and 9th of
Okay, so
March.
yeah, so next
So
weekend. How excited? Okay, explain what Keepcast is for people who may haven't seen any of the posts or anything that have been going around.
so Keepcast is basically a Japanese iCast. That would be the best way to describe it. It's just a big fishing show that they have in Nagoya, and it's primarily bass fishing, as far as I know. Like I said, I haven't been, so I really don't have any. I don't have any expectations of what's going to happen. I honestly haven't watched any videos on it either. I know Jeffrey's made a video on it, but I did not watch that. I'm kind of going in this blind, which I like a little bit better. I think
Right.
I'm just going to go there and show up and see whoever's there and hang out. And I think it's going to be neat. It's going to be a neat experience.
Hmm.
Um, there's going to be the only difference between Keepcast and iCast that's like a big difference is that you can actually buy stuff at Keepcast.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they have pretty much every bait that they are selling at Keepcast is a limited edition color that they only sell at Keepcast.
Mhm.
So there's going to be so many baits that you literally cannot get
Yeah.
anywhere else, like collaboration baits and stuff like that. Word on the street is that there's going to be a throwback G Crack Metro floating around, a few of those floating around. So
Sweet.
I'm sure those. I don't know if anybody will ever see one of those over here, but it is a cool little thing that that will be out there.
That's sweet.
And yeah, no, it's going to be sick. It's definitely going to be. It was the choice between Keepcast or going to the Bassmaster Classic, and like, no offense to Bassmaster Classic or Fort Worth, but I thought going to Japan might be just a little bit cooler.
Right. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a hair, just a hair cooler.
Yeah. It's gonna be sweet, like because there's so many like underground bait builders from Japan who just make such off the wall stuff. And then on top of that,
Dude,
you're gonna be like one of a dozen American guys there. You, Jeff, I'm sure the
right,
Purcell
right,
brothers, 86 Baits. Like there's not gonna be
right.
many US guys
No,
there. And so that's
I,
just
I
gonna
think
it's gonna be sweet.
I think there I think there will be more than I imagine there being there.
Mm.
Honestly, like I've had a few people DM me and tell me that they're going to be there, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is just like random people that aren't even, they're not like going there to record or anything. They're just
Yeah.
showing up for fun. So I think there will be a few people there. I know Anthony's coming. Anthony's going to be
Oh,
there,
that's
so we'll have a
sick.
little bit of Tackle Shack representation for a little bit. But yeah, I think that that's probably the most English I'm going to speak that entire trip. Like at that show, that'll probably be the most English interactions I have that entire trip at Keepcast. And then after that, it's just I'm on my own. On my own.
Yeah, you're gonna be texting the group chat in Japanese because you forget that it's an English group chat.
Forget English, truly.
I was gonna ask you something. I guess has your Japanese improved since the last time you were there a couple months ago?
Yeah, I think it has. I've definitely like I haven't. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but I've practiced every single day since when I got back last time. I was like, hey, okay, now I understand the importance of all these little words and things that I wanted to know. I told myself I was going to practice every single day until I left, and I have been. Anki cards, Duolingo, stuff like that. Just like whatever I can get my hands on to practice on. A lot of like input, just listening to Japanese videos that don't have any English audio or English subtitles at all, just like watching and intaking.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's gotten a lot better. I'm not like, of course, I'm not Jeffrey fluent, but
Right.
but not a Jeff fluent, but um, I'm not Jeffrey level, but I feel like I can get around, which I'm pretty happy about. And I think by the time,
Yeah. Yep.
give me 1 month, give me 1 month there, only speaking Japanese, like I feel like I will be pretty comfortable in my own skin. And then by the time I leave, I will be very comfortable because the best way is immersion.
Yeah.
And like that's the best way to learn anything. And like the main thing I wanted to know was just like picking up on like certain little grammar cues and stuff like that. And then other than that, like learning vocabulary words like through Anki flashcards and stuff like that. Like just learning as many vocabulary words as you possibly can, because then you can pick up context clues
Yeah.
from
Yep.
conversations. As long as you know the word for something, you can know what they're talking about and pick up little
Yeah.
things. So I think like I have kept up with it, so I'm at least like at a baseline where I'm happy with. I'm like I did what I could. I think my the way I have to learn though is I have to be there. Like I'm not very like book smart where I can sit down and learn something like that, like a language. And I can't read worth of shit, so it's like I can't read Japanese at all. And that's what Jeffrey was making fun of me because he can read it really well. And I'm like, all right, well, you know what? That's not my strong suit, but whatever. It's different for every person. Like there's not one language learning
Yeah.
like
Technique.
experience that
Yeah.
is like universal. You know what I mean? Like every single person has like a different brain. So I just have to be there.
Mhm.
Like I have done good practicing. I'm happy with how much I've practiced. I'm like, okay, now I know, you know, basics, get around, a little bit of grammar here and there, so I can figure stuff out when I get there. And if I keep studying while I'm there
Mhm.
on a nightly basis, I
Yeah.
will be like boom, 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 taking
Yeah.
all that in. And like I'm telling you, I think by the end of the 2.5 months, I'll be pretty good. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where I get from there.
That'll be
So
awesome.
that's important. It's important for me to learn because I want to know. I want to be able to ask why on
Yeah. Yep.
things. You know what I mean? Like I hear things fishing and they tell me to do certain things, or they're like, yeah, I like to do this. And I'm like, I can't ask them why.
Mhm.
It's almost frustrating. It's like,
Yeah.
dang, dude, this is my friend showing me something cool, and I can't be like, yo, why do you do this and get a deeper
Yeah.
explanation. It just has to be like I just have to guess, and
Mhm.
that like I feel like it's important to learn something like that so I can communicate, of course,
Yeah.
with my friends and just learn more, because there are so many fishermen over there that are a lot better than we are over here. Like they know a lot.
Speak for
There's
yourself,
certain
buddy. No.
true, true. Number one Michigan angler.
Uh, dude, I will say you will have to speak a little English at Bass Rock with the or at Keepcast with the Bass Rock family. They've been practicing their English and it is very good.
Dude.
Whenever I join the
No.
live streams, they'll talk in English and
Yep. Yep.
I don't respond in English. I go through the deep L stuff and figure it out. But I'm like
Yep.
wow, like I don't. It's crazy that these like groups of people or just like that family specifically sees what we do over here and like interacts with like you and I and a bunch of other people as well, and they're kind of taking it as the same approach as we are. Like I
Oh yeah.
want to talk to my friends in their language. Like I don't want to be the deterring factor that I don't get to ask them why or I don't get to pick their brain about something. And they've never even visited the US. They live in Japan, stationed in
Right.
Japan,
Right.
and their market is in
Right.
Japan, but they're still like, I want to be able to learn English to talk to our new American
Right.
friends. Like, dude,
That's
that's so
dude.
crazy.
That's literally it. I hear this like weird argument all the time where people. I mean, like straight up, people make fun of Jeffrey. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and I'm like, dude, okay. First off, right, what Jeffrey has done, right? I like not to like slob on Jeffrey's knob too hard, but I love Jeffrey. He's my friend, so I'm gonna do it, dude. Learning another language is incredibly difficult.
yeah.
Like that is incredibly difficult. It is like very intensive, very laboring. So when people just like disregard it and be like, "Oh, dude, you're a weeb," like whatever, I'm like, dude, do you know how difficult that was? It's
Mhm.
very impressive that he was able to go and do that.
Yeah.
And then second off, again, this isn't out of some weird like I don't know what people think it is. You
It's
know what I mean?
literally to
Some weird
talk to
like
my freaking
fetish.
friends.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's literally to talk to my friends. It's not some strange thing. It's not some weeb thing. It's just literally like, hey, I made these friends over here. We are passionate about the same
Mhm.
thing, and that's bass fishing. And
I want
I
to
cannot talk to
communicate.
them.
Yeah.
I want to communicate with them. I want to be able to, let them know that, hey, I'm appreciative of you for being my friend, for helping me out. And I'm interested in what you have going on. And I hope vice versa. Like, I
Yeah.
just want to be able to convey that and talk and have, because that's like, dude, human, like basic human function, like is on literally on the pyramid of needs. It's like social interaction. It's like very, very important for your like survival. You know what I mean? Like you need those friendships and shit to flourish. And if you're learning another language for your friends, I feel like that only kind of makes the bond like deeper. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you went out of your way to work hard so you could communicate and understand what these people have to say. I just think that's like, it's a very impressive thing. Like I see people do it. I'm like, oh, dude, that's like amazing. So every time I had somebody come up to me at the Houston fishing show and start, talking about Jeffrey. Well, he's just trying to be Japan or whatever the fuck. And I was like, dude, no, like that is not,
Yeah.
that is not how you should think about that. You should think about this as a very difficult, impressive thing that they spent many hours into learning. The same way you'd be impressed by someone who catches a big fish, no sonar and stuff like that. Many, many hours went into that. I don't see what the difference is, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I'm like I said, not to hop on not to hop on Jeffrey's peen there, but I do respect the fuck out of
Yeah.
Jeffrey. I love that
And
dude.
that's like,
He's very passionate. I
yeah,
love it.
and that just like when I talk to people from other countries, I know a little bit of German and I know a little bit of Spanish, like enough to read what they say and kind of decipher it and
Mm-hmm.
kind of give a little bit back. But like these guys, like the Bass Rock family, he always tells me like you can just reply in English and I'll translate it. And I'm like, no, dude, like I want to talk to you. I will go through the
Yep.
hassle of trying to learn your language, of doing all the copy and pasting. Like, no, I want to make it as
Right.
easy for you as possible because I want to interact with you. You don't have to. I'm taking time out of your day for something that I'm asking you or I have questions about. Like, no,
Right.
dude, I
Right.
I want to show you respect
Right.
and like based off like the Japanese culture too, like the whole respect side of stuff. Like, I want to make it as easy for me to pick your brain to feel like it's not like a one-way thing. Like I am trying to make it easy on you for you to help me out like that, or for you
Well, that's what
to help
I
me.
mean. That's what friends do. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Literally, at the end of the day, that's what you do. You just help each other out, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you speak the same language
yeah,
or you don't or whatever. But like, that's it. At the end of the day, it's a one common denominator. It's like we're friends. I help you out. You
yeah,
help me out. Boom. We have a good time. Like whatever. It doesn't. It's not. I mean, it's deep, but it's not that deep. You know what I mean? Like, I think people think too hard about it, and I think Americans are pretty stubborn to
yeah.
a lot of
And
shit
that's
like
like,
that. Where it comes to
yeah,
learning other languages and stuff. It's not just because people are trying to flex that they know a language or whatever. It's because they know people, they know friends, they know family and stuff like that, and they want to communicate with them. And I just think that's a very like I don't know, it's a very touching reason. You know what I mean? And I don't think that should ever be made fun of. Like I don't think you should be making fun of people for trying to talk to their friends. That's great. That's just crazy to me.
yeah.
You know,
I
like
mean, I've like shared foreign builders, not even just Japanese, like foreign
mhm.
builders stuff on the Instagram page or whatever it may be through the podcast, and they will send me screenshots of like these American guys saying, "Oh my gosh, your bait is so cool! Can I have one? Can I buy one? Will you send me some for free?" And they're like kind of taken off by it. They're like kind of, what does this guy mean? Like, what is the context? Can you help me understand? And so
Right,
here I am,
right,
like using the translation app, trying to convey in their
right,
language
right,
what this guy is trying to mean, tweaking it a little
right.
bit, rewording it and stuff. And they're like, oh my gosh, like he really wants a lure for free and he's not going to try to like communicate with that with me. Like, I feel like it's so stubborn for US guys to be like, oh, I'm talking to this guy, so he has to do all the legwork to try to help me out. Like, nah, dude. I've told
Super
people
stubborn.
that before. I've told builders that before. Like, I talk to you guys in your native tongue to make it easy on you guys because I don't wanna
Mhm.
be a hassle on you and I want to show you guys respect. And they're like, oh, I appreciate it, but I'll do all the translating. It's like, no, dude, that's not how this is gonna work. Like, I'm
We're
not just
hey,
gonna say
we're
I'm not gonna send you 10 paragraphs that don't translate to anything of what I
right,
mean. Like the Japanese
right.
translation, you have to word it just right to get it to translate certain ways. And
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But if I can convey my point the first time the right
Mm-hmm.
way, and there's no
Mm-hmm.
like no unknown like void of what's trying to be said there, it just makes it the easiest for everybody.
Right, right. And Japanese in particular, it's different than English because it's very context based.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
you have to know what the people are talking about. It's not like there's no subject matter in the sentence. You know what I mean? Like there is, but there isn't. So it's
Yeah.
like it's weird when you're translating. You kind of have to know how to translate. You have to be very deliberate about what you're talking about. You have to say the thing that you're talking about, the
Yeah.
subject, so it gets across right. It's not the same. But I think just making that effort, you know what I mean, is like is cool, you know, because like, dude, at the end of the day, like we are kind of the same. Like they want to interact with us, and we want to interact with them, and we're all like fishing. That's literally it. You know what I mean? Like we like to go fishing, and we like to hang out with our friends, and like I think that's important. You know what I mean? Just fucking help your friends out. Damn. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100%, dude.
Like that. It's kind of like imagine, like, you know, there are, like I said, there are people out there who are very put aback by what Jeffrey has done, or what, you know, like I want to do or shit like that. And I'm like, dude, just imagine imagine your best, you're listening right now. Imagine your best friend right now just goes deaf right there,
Yeah.
right? You're
You're not gonna
absolutely
learn.
number
Yeah.
one from childhood best friend goes deaf. You're going to learn sign language.
Hmm.
You're going to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to sit there and just be like, "Oh, you just have to figure out what I'm saying. You have to learn how to read my lips."
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, that's crazy. Like that's not how you act as a human being. You know what I mean? Like unless that's what your moral compass decides is okay, then sure. But you know, that's just in my opinion. I think that's a little rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um,
I equate it to that kind of.
mhm.
But
What
anyway.
talking about the Japanese culture and stuff, obviously, like when you go over there, or like when Jeff goes over there, he always, like, you guys talk about like taking gifts and stuff, like just, or
Mm-hmm,
not even necessarily gifts, like just bring stuff that they don't get to experience over
mm-hmm,
there like we get to over here. Is there
mm-hmm.
anything that, like, you don't even have to say who you're bringing it for, but is there specific stuff that you have, like, that you have packed away that you're bringing to give,
Yes.
that like guys are gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, oh my gosh, Marshall brought this for me, like that's so crazy because
Yes.
we don't have them here.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, if you're listening and you don't know, it is very, very important. If you ever plan to go to Japan, if you ever bring gifts, oh my God, it's so important, dude. The first time that I ever met anyone from Japan, it was actually at ICAST. I met Aoki-san and Hiroshi-san, like the CEO and the general manager of
Hmm.
G-Crack Japan, basically. And I felt like an idiot because these guys had never even met me.
Yeah.
I basically had no idea who they were, and they came over and they had like a plethora of gifts for me, particular. Like they had thought it out of it, and they were like, "Oh, we have to gift to this guy that we're meeting." Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Fuck, dude, I don't have anything." Like, I just felt like I felt dumb. I was like, "Dang, dude!" Like they went out of their way to think about me like
Yeah.
that to bring me a gift, and like when you show up, you have to bring gifts. You have
Mhm.
to be able to make sure you gift because you're gonna receive gifts
Yep.
when you go over there. I am like, and it's not like a brag thing, but literally, you're gonna go over there and people are going to, if you're expecting to meet anyone, they're going to give you gifts. Like that is just, it's like a culture thing. It's just sort of a sign of respect. It's a sign of like, hey, I appreciate you. Like here's a gift.
Yeah.
I have a few metros packed away. I have some cool stuff. I have some working class zero stuff. I have some t-shirts and stuff like that, like Paddleboard Crusaders t-shirts. Like I just stickers. Like I have all kinds of shit. I'm bringing some S&P zines over there as
Eventually,
gifts, like all kinds of
they'll get
stuff.
to Japan eventually
Donate,
somehow.
yeah, donated by yours truly. So a lot of, you know, cool. I tried to bring cool American stuff. I packed Sammy a booyah buzz bait just for him. So I made sure, you know, I'm like intentionally trying to think about, you know, having enough gifts. I have a lot of stuff packed away right now that I'm like, I look at my suitcase and I'm like, dang, half of that is gifts,
Gonna
but
be
that is
gone. Yeah.
very, it's very important because it's all going to be gone because it's just it's important. It's not like it is over here. You know what I mean? Even if you're just meeting someone for the first time, that's why you have to bring extra to be ready. You're meeting someone for the first time, they already have a gift ready for you. So you need to be like, bam, ready to go. So you make a good impression. You know what I mean? It's very important, very, very respectful over there. So I have, like I said, I've been planning this out actually meticulously for a while, like the gift giving. I was like, all right, here we go. This time I'm not fucking around. Like I'm gonna have stuff ready. Last time I brought good gifts, but I still didn't have enough. I was like, dude, I thought I was ready, but I still didn't have enough. I was like, dang it.
Like a
But now
Christmas list.
I know exactly, but I think I'm ready this time, and I'm excited. I'm excited to give them stuff that I think they're going to be stoked on. You know what I mean? Like I said, stuff that they can't get over there. I think that's cool. It makes them excited. It makes
Yeah.
them happy. So like that is good enough for me. That is good enough for me. You know, like I literally have like $500 worth of shirts like in here that are just going to be given away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because that's important. It's very important to me. It's important to them. So that is yeah, bring gifts if you go. Oh my god,
I
don't
mean,
forget.
it's kind of crazy that like the stuff that um this one guy, he doesn't necessarily say like, oh, I want this, but he's like, oh, this lure is really cool. kind of put it in the back of my head. Okay,
Hmm.
Marshall's going. I'm gonna get
And
this
yep,
sent with Marshall so he can take it.
yep.
Or like I texted you a couple weeks ago. I'm like, hey, if you have any of these baits, this guy is kind of fond of them. They're not. I don't think they're ever gonna get them there because you can hardly get them
Right,
here.
right.
And dude, I can just like he knows about the one gift. I'm pretty sure, but like he's gonna get this stuff and he's gonna be like, holy shit, like this is fucking crazy. I have this
Yep.
bait here in Japan right now, and I can't imagine there's many in Japan. And it's such a like not necessarily undesirable, but it's like an overlooked bait here in the US. And just like
Hmm.
to show
Exactly.
them, be like, here, dude, I brought this for you. I took 7 ounces out of my packet or out of my fucking luggage to bring this to you. And they're gonna be
Yep.
like, oh my gosh, this is not
Yep.
necessarily it's like going from Texas to Michigan. If you bring a gift for me, yeah, it's cool, thank you, I appreciate it.
Mhm.
But to travel with that
Right.
bait, 2,000 miles across the ocean for them, dude, like, and
Yep.
vice versa, them bringing stuff here, like, it's so awesome and so
Yeah.
great to think about.
Yeah, you got to think about what that means. It's
Yeah.
not just about the monetary value of said gift. It's more about how it got there and what you meant by it. You know what I mean? That's a very important thing because I mean there are gifts that you would give that are just sort of to the checklist. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But there's other gifts that I brought where I am like, this is important. Like I brought this specifically for this guy or whatever. Like that stuff is important over there, and it makes a world of a difference, dude. Just the way they see you, they see that you care, so they're going to immediately be very helpful and very
Yeah.
care. Like they're going to care the same way because that you showed you cared.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like you don't want to go over there and look like an idiot and not, like not that they won't take care of you,
Yeah.
but you won't feel good about it. I don't
Mhm.
think I would not feel good about it if I came over there and just didn't
Right.
have gifts and anything, and they were just buying me dinner, giving me gifts, like doing all this stuff. I'd be like, damn, I feel bad. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
just over here like lazy, stupid American. Like, you know,
And
that's it's
it's
it's a wild
crazy.
thing, dude. I'm
Mhm. It's crazy to think like there's guys who are gonna gift you things like you said that you have never even met before that maybe you've talked to or like you're
yep.
familiar with, and now this time
Mhm.
around you'll have something together, even if it's just a shirt or a sticker or whatever else it
Yep.
may be.
Yep.
It's something
Yep.
that they may have not, like, I'm gonna gift Marshall this thing and he probably doesn't really know who I am or was expecting to meet me, so I don't expect anything in
Right.
return. And boom, you hand them a shirt and they're like, oh my gosh, like I am one of
He was ready.
25 people that have a shirt here in Japan. It
Yep.
if
Yep.
if I gift you a shirt here in the US, oh cool, it's a shirt. But there it's like, oh cool, this is an
Right.
American shirt that only 25 other people have. It's like the same thing of getting a
Right.
limited color
Right.
DRT here. Like, oh my gosh, this is so badass. Like it's the same exact thing.
It's it is like the intent of the gift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is the intent of the gift that matters, I think, in my opinion.
Hmm.
But because they're very thoughtful about it.
Yeah.
They're very thoughtful about the way they give. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, it's even Zeth was telling me that he had a he when he was in Japan last, he met
Yeah.
somebody over there, and I forgot the whole story exactly, but basically, of course, like helping him out over in Japan, but also like later down the line, shipped gifts over here, stuff for
Yeah.
Atlas, like when Atlas was born, like shipping baby
That's
stuff
so
over here
cool.
as gifts to be like, oh, congratulations, like
Yeah.
like going way out of their way to ship stuff all the way over here just for like somebody that they met for like 2 days. You know, and just stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like that is, very important and very like, wow. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, and like
yeah,
even
bring
even
gifts.
people even people that I haven't, I obviously never been to Japan, but like people I talk to there that I'll send magazines to, they're like, oh, how much, even just something small like how much shipping? Oh no, it's okay, or like we'll split it or something, and then a
Mm-hmm.
month later, 2 months later, there's a 20 by 16 package on my door with a customs form, and it's like, what the hell is this? And you open it up, and it's like, you text or
Yep.
you message them and you're
Yep.
like, "Oh, what is this for?" "Oh, it's just a gift. We appreciate." I'm like, "Dude, I paid $20 for shipping you a magazine. Like, I didn't need anything in return." "Oh no,
Right.
yeah, we appreciate." And
Right.
it's like,
Right.
wow, like I don't know, it's
Yeah.
you look at something like that and then you look at something if you were to cover, most, not all, but like an American Guys package, like, oh, if they win a giveaway or something, it's a thanks. It's not, oh, I'm gonna send you a bait back to you
Right.
for my appreciation. Like it's not that it's
Yeah.
anything bad against people here, but it's just such a different
No, no,
form
no.
of
It's just,
culture and
it's
like
just, yeah,
thinking.
it's just, yeah, it's just the cultural norm, and you just have to be like aware of that shit when you travel over there. You know what I mean? For sure, I think it's important. I know now.
Yeah.
I know now. That's for sure. um, I'm excited. I came back with a whole bunch of stuff that was so sick, dude. That I
Yeah.
like, literally. pretty much everything that's
Yeah.
laying here on the wall. Like there's a bass rock, there's this ultra, like the one bait. Dude, this stuff is like they just give it to you. And I'm like, dang, dude, like that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
guys don't have to do that. But it's also rude not to take it, is the other thing too. You can't be like, no, I don't want that. Like, no, you have to take it because that's
Yeah.
kind.
Because it's
So
for you.
I think
It's for you
just
essentially.
right, right. It's for you. Yeah. So I think it's just crazy how like there's like a difference between, Americans, like the way we treat people who we just met versus Japan, the way they treat people they just met. And some people say like, and this is probably an issue, but like there is sort of a mask there in Japan where some people are more fake, like up
Yeah.
front just for the social norms. And like, sure, that I can see that being a problem and like not being great. But at the same time, like
Everybody
coming
does
from
it.
America,
Yeah.
that is very refreshing to see just people meeting you on the street and being very kind and nice all the time. And not to say people don't do that here, but come on, it's like 50-50. You know what I mean? Depending on where you're at. Like for the most part, like if you just went up and said hi to some random person, like they might say hi to you back.
Yeah.
Maybe. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
depends where you're at. If you're in a small country town, sure. But like, dude, if you're in a city, like they're just walking by.
Yeah.
So it's wild. Culture shock. Very
Yeah.
real.
It's
Very
it's it's
real.
crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What's like the upload schedule? What are you thinking for out there? Like obviously this month you did a video every single day. If you guys aren't familiar, you did a video every single day and kind of like a 1 to 2 week normal upload was the schedule prior. Are you gonna try to upload like
Yeah.
once a week and then once on Patreon, or kind of what's your mind thinking?
So, I mean, okay, by the time you guys are seeing this at the
Oh
end of
yeah,
March,
yeah. So
right?
they're
Or
we'll
whenever this
probably
goes
already
up,
know. So I guess just kind
you
of
already know. You
for
already
people who
know. But
don't know, what are you gonna be doing?
I want to upload here, and here we go. I'm gonna hold myself accountable, right? I'm saying this now, so if I lied, you guys can go and DM me and be like, "Hey, you fucking liar! You said you were gonna do it." I'm gonna say it now. Free Japan Marshall. I want to upload 3 times a week. That's what
Okay.
I want to do. I think I talked about this with a couple of buddies. I think Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is just like super solid. I tried the everyday thing in February and it was fun and I feel like I learned a lot, but I don't think it's sustainable. I
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the videos were rushed and I just can't like I just was like posting stuff just to post stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that I did it. Right. I'm uploading the final video today. It's just gonna be kind of like an overview of everything I'm packing. But 3 times a week seems like enough where I can still get ahead. So in case I get sick or in case like I just can't film today or whatever, I just it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the video just does not line up,
Yeah.
and getting a little bit caught up like that is important. I think having some leeway so I can record 4 times a week, but upload three, have some in the bank, because I'd rather be consistent all around than trying to rush to upload garbage. Like I'd rather have a little bit more time to put in the video. It's not that I can't record a video every day.
Mhm.
It's that I can't record and edit and upload a video every
Yeah.
day. Like that whole process is like the tough part, especially here in the van. Like, dude, I like it's not every day that I'm like I have Wi-Fi. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like sometimes I'm out in the middle of the Everglades or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
like, dude, I can't upload today. So I
Mm.
think I think 3 a week is going to be the schedule for March. Maybe an upload every day in April if I see it fit, because that would be cool, a daily upload in Japan. But we'll just say 3 a week for now. 3 a week is the goal. So you guys will see the first one when I get there on Monday. It'll be like a travel vlog. So I like 3 a week. What do you
Heck yeah.
think? You like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that'll be good.
Cool.
Are you gonna
Cool.
do like so you have a Patreon. Are you gonna try to do your giveaways while you're there, or are you gonna stack up stuff and then when you
I was
come
gonna say
back in May do a couple months worth of giveaways?
yes. So Patreon, of course, uploads on Saturdays as well. So really 4 times a week you'll
Yeah.
get 4 uploads if you're on Patreon. But I'm going to be doing the giveaway the normal way. I'm just not going to ship the prizes until I get back. Like I'm just
Okay.
going to wait. I'm just going to hold on to them. But I'm going to try and do a whole bunch of cool JDM shit. Like I want to get enough stuff at the tackle berries and stuff that you guys literally cannot get
Hmm.
here. Bring it over and do giveaways on the Patreon every month for that kind of stuff. So I'll still be same schedule. I just won't be able to ship prizes until I get back. I could ship them there, but
Eh,
it's just a
eh,
hassle, and
yeah.
I just rather not do it. I'd rather not do it. I'd rather not get lost. Like I'll just do it when I get there. So that was that's the plan on that, I think. But same Patreon schedule every Saturday uploading, and yeah, giveaways every month. So we'll try and I'm literally gonna go to Tackleberry like here in the next couple days whenever I get there and get something sick. I'm gonna pick out some sick swim baits or something like that to give away for this month. So yeah,
Dude, I think
that's the move. That's
Yeah,
the move.
I think even if you just carry it around your GoPro when you go to the Tackleberries, like that's an episode, or that's I say episode, that's a video in itself. Like, dude, if you did like an outdoor
It
boys
is.
style
It
video, you're
is.
like, oh, we're gonna be going to Tackleberry today, and you're showing these baits, and
Right.
you just put a brief English description on the bottom, like, oh, this bait is, whatever kilogram or grams,
Right.
whatever else, and you're just like, if you just made a 10-minute video on that, like that's something that nobody here gets to see. There's a couple
Yeah. Yeah.
like Tackleberry videos. It's
It,
Phoenix and Jeff are like the couple that I've seen off the top of my head. Or like Guggen Squad, I'm
right.
sure has a
Right.
couple. But if you did that and you're like, this is what Tackleberry in Kyoto has. This is what the Tackleberry on XYZ street
Yeah.
has. Like
Yeah.
if you made like a Tackleberry
Yeah.
series,
Well, so
dude, that would be sick.
I do want I do want to do that stuff. It's kind of weird in Japan though. Like I will
Yeah.
say this, I'm prefacing this because filming in Japan is not the same as it is here. Like you can't just walk in everywhere with a big camera with a mic on it and start filming. Like they're gonna be like, no, hold on. So it's sort of like you either have to be stealthy or ask for permission. So it is weird. They're not gonna be the same format as they would be, in America. Like of course if I go to the DRT facility or whatever, like I can get footage in there and they're cool with that. But certain Tackleberries, like you might walk in and they might be, if you, especially if I carry around my vlog camera,
Yeah.
like part of the reason that I didn't film a lot is because carrying that thing around is very like intimidating. Like when people see the big fluffy mic on top,
Yeah.
they like get freaked out. They literally go like, "Oh my god, like what is that?" You know what I mean? Like it looks like a movie set, and it's like, "Oh god," and they don't want to be on film. Like it's very different over there, so I have to be kind of careful. But I think I should be able to get a bunch of cool stuff. The GoPro is a good idea because it is so small and
Or
stealthy. I can
even your
actually,
phone.
you know,
Like if you just are like kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
panning over and stuff, and
exactly.
like
Yeah,
maybe not even talking, just
there will
doing
be
the voiceover after, like dude, it's
right,
all the
right.
same stuff.
There will be lots of phone stuff for sure. There will be lots of phone content. I kind of realized that you're actually able to film on. Like
Yeah,
I've been filming on camera for so long that I was like, hey, you know what? I can actually just pull out my iPhone and film
yeah.
this. So like I have new content strategies like going into this. You know what I mean? Like where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make all this stuff. It is like actual work, believe it or not. Like a lot of people see this and it's like, I have to roll up and I have to be like locked in and ready to get this film. Like I need to know what I'm gonna film. I need to know how I'm gonna edit it later. Like
Mhm.
it's definitely something. But I feel like this time I'm ready. I'm gonna make some cool stuff. I'm excited. I'm excited to make a video with Gosan, honestly, because last
Yeah,
time I know I talked about him a whole bunch, but um, I was just again, dude, I'm sitting on this boat, like literally learning from like the master, like
yeah.
trophy fisherman in Japan. And I'm like, dude, I need to focus. Like I need to learn all this stuff. But now that we're like a little bit better friends, I can actually record at night and have him on the video and stuff like that. So um, I know what I want to make. I know what I want to make. I want to make videos with my friends, just having fun in Japan, like doing stuff, showing the food. So I'm going to try and just, again, like I know what people want to see. I know people want to tease tackle shop videos. And like, of course I want to make tackle shop videos,
Mhm.
but my most important like mission is to make videos that I am enjoying making.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to go over there and try, make these videos that I don't like to
Mhm.
make. Like I'm going to make stuff that I want to make. That is like bottom line. Cause if I'm not enjoying it, then it's not going to be a good video.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I have to have some sort of like attachment to it. But no, I think it's gonna be good. I think there's gonna be a lot of good shit that comes out. I think me and Jeffrey are gonna do a collab. Sammy and I are gonna do another video, probably multiple. Me and Gosan, me and Hitoshi-san, like everybody, dude. You're gonna see all kinds of stuff. It's gonna be wild. A wild 2.5 months
Yeah, and
of
Hitoshi-san will
Japan.
get to speak a little bit in the video. It might granted
Yes,
might not
yes,
be
dude.
anything crazy, but he'll be able to say hi, homeless fisherman fans, or like anything
I
like that. It'll
I
be
bet
sick.
I bet he's a lot better than from when I met him last.
Oh
He
yeah,
was
yeah. They're
it
they're
was
really
enough to
good.
it was enough to dude, it was enough to communicate with him last time, and I was
Yeah,
like, dang, dude, if you get better than that, like we can talk,
yeah,
like we can actually talk.
yeah.
Um, that is it's cool to see that again. Like back on our other point, like
Mhm.
dude, that is like it means a lot. It's like, oh
Yeah,
damn, you're like
very
going out of your way
thoughtful.
to learn this for me.
Mhm.
Um, no, that is a crazy thing. But yeah, me and Hitoshi-san will be able to hang out. Hopefully, get a big dead slow fish in the snow. He told me he's going to take me bank fishing,
Oh, that's so
so
sick.
we're gonna go. I'm gonna go get icicles on my mustache and try and catch a Biwa giant. The
Uh,
goal the goal is 5 kilograms.
five
That's my
kilos.
like if I hit that,
Yeah.
I'm fucking happy. I can go home very happy.
Are
Double digit, I'll take that obviously, but 5 kilos is like the mark.
are you bringing any beanies over? Do you have any beanies to bring over?
I only have one. I only have my one beanie,
Damn it.
unfortunately. I know. I only have shirts. I like, dude. It's always like right up to the end. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, dude, that would be so perfect if I had that kind of stuff. Um, dude. It's expensive. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
This is like maybe this is like too much to talk about for like people who are home or just listening. They're probably like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Because they don't actually do what we do. But
Yeah.
dude, like making merch is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Like that is the reason I haven't been able to do merch until recently because like the finances have not been there. Like, dude, you're gonna make 100 shirts. It seems like 2 grand. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
you gotta pay up to get that kind of stuff. It's kind of
People
crazy.
wonder why the
So
pre-orders for merch are a thing. It's because I'm not ordering
right,
70
right,
larges and only selling
dude.
21. Uh-uh.
Dude, no. Honestly, the way I'm doing it, like I talked about this in one of my videos, one of the driving videos, but the way I'm doing it, where I want to do it in person only, like for the Paddleboard Crusader
Yeah.
stuff, at least for the moment. The way I'm doing it is like the least efficient and the least profit friendly way because like
Sitting
I'm probably
around in
not. I
storage.
can probably I might be able to break even, but like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not ordering like huge quantities and stuff like that. So I'm not getting much of a price break, which is fine. Like, dude, my stuff is made by Swim Baits All Day. They help me press it. Made in Texas. I like to be able to say that. I like to support people in my hometown, in Texas, in my home state. So I think it's super sick that Sebastian and his family are, like if I can help them out in any way, that's cool to me. And then,
Yeah.
of course, being able to say made in Texas is
Yeah.
that's tough. Come on,
I mean,
like
yeah.
that's super tough. I'd
Yeah.
like keep that label,
Yeah,
but
the
yeah, no,
hats that
I think
I've dropped and are definitely probably sold out and maybe doing another batch. Sebastian made all those.
mhm.
Like I sent him the blanks
Nice,
and
nice.
he even helps me pick the thread
Yep,
color and everything and he's like, "Dude, these are sick. If we want to do anything else, let me know." So, the hats that you
dude,
guys will
that's
be seeing in a couple days from recording, a couple weeks after listening, Sebastian made all that stuff and he'll be making some more stuff for me too. So, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's
dude.
supporting the homies and to just like if I'm gonna give my money to anybody for like a huge crap ton of merch and stuff, I'd rather it be
Yep,
somebody that I know it's going to
yep,
their family or it's going back into the business. It's not some
yep,
huge print shop or whatever else it may be.
yep.
Like that's sick like that.
Exactly, exactly. The same thing with like me doing my merch in person. Like I was
Yeah.
saying, that's important for me to be able to like talk to people like that are buying my stuff. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is my product. Like, if you're coming and buying it, like I want you to be able to buy it from me, not
Yeah.
from some third party, like
Mhm.
through like not like I don't know. That just doesn't feel right to me. Like, dude, I want it to be cooler than that. You know
Like
what
an
I mean? And like I said,
interaction.
it's cool. The whole story is cool because like Sebastian and his company, Swim Baits All Day, like he's
Yeah.
helping me out and we're working together and just like it, it's more than that. It's more
Mhm.
than just like putting it up on a website to
Yeah.
sell out for a whatever, you know what I mean? And like it like I said, no shame to anyone who's doing pre-orders or whatever. That makes the most sense. Like that it does make the most sense for, a business perspective. But like that, at the end of the day, like I just like this stuff. You know what I mean? I just like being around people who are in the same space and doing cool stuff for the community. So anyone who came out to the pop-up shop in Austin, like if you're listening to this and you came out to that was rad, dude. Like that kind of stuff, that's what I like to see because everybody came out, hung out, had a good time.
Mhm.
I could sit there and help people tune baits and
Yeah.
talk about fishing and listen to stories and like that. That's what I love. So I want to make sure that my products are attached to that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be attached to a pre-order or anything like
Yeah.
that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just my way of going about it. That's the way I like to do it. So
Right.
yeah,
Wrapping it.
that is
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
nope. Go ahead.
Wrapping it up here just because you have to get to packing and I have to get to going.
I do have to
But
get paying.
last thing, when you get back, so May 15th, May 16th, you'll be back
Mhm.
in the United States of America. What do you have planned like for events? Obviously, the one event I'm thinking of in the back of my head. What is like the homeless fisherman's plan throughout the summer? What are you planning at least until like July or October,
Got
or
you.
September, August, somewhere in there?
Yes. Homeless Fisherman Itinerary. Um, I don't think they've announced it yet, but there's going to be. I hope I'm allowed to say this, but
I don't know,
there's going to be a
Kyle.
G crack. There's
Okay,
going to be a.
yeah.
Oh no, this is different. This is
Yeah,
another
yeah.
thing.
You
Yeah, yeah.
you
This
you
is
have like hinted at this, but outside of that, I didn't know anything about this.
so there's going to be a G crack event in Dallas Fort Worth area later in May. So I
Okay.
will be at that. whenever you guys see that announced, I will be there. Come say hi to me there. After that, also Noel might be there tentatively. We're kind of working on this, but Noel might be there, and at the other thing that's happening next,
Okay.
throwback tournament up in Minnesota. So I will be there for that, and then ICAST is like my last scheduled event. After that, I'm pretty much free. So I'm thinking about spending the fall in Texas, like this fall, because I want to do some like honestly, I want to do some redfish and like flounder stuff. I want to
Yeah.
catch a flounder really bad. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just kind of like scratching at me a little bit. I want like a big 24-inch doormat flounder
Doormat.
on the
Yeah.
bellows gill. That would be cool. So that's the tentative plan. The G Crack event, the throwback tournament, ICAST. We'll probably throw a pop-up shop in between there, me and Swimbaits all day. So like just make sure you're following Swimbaits all day. Make sure you're following my account, obviously, and just watch for those like in the Austin area. I'd like to do another one of those pretty soon. And yeah, we'll probably do it at Tackle Shack if we do anything. So yeah, that's the homeless fisherman itinerary for now. I will post more stuff as we get closer or whatever. But I'm excited to see everybody at the
Yeah.
tournament. I'm excited to see you, Adrian. My
I
God,
know,
it's
dude.
been so long.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll try to make it down for the G Crack tournament, and then 3 weeks later I'll see you in Minnesota, and then I don't know, we'll
Yes.
we'll see, we'll see. Maybe I'll come down there for a pop-up shop or something. That'd be cool, something like that. I was gonna say we'll
That's
intervene again in another 8 months on the via the podcast, and then but in between that, I'm sure we'll talk every day. It's weird because when you go to Japan, the group chat kind of dies off. Like it'll just be Phoenix and I talking. And like Phoenix and I will be texting
I
all
know. I'm
day, all
sorry.
day. I'll get ready to fall asleep, and Marshall will be like, "Wow, you guys really sent a lot of freaking text messages or just something off the wall. It'll be a picture of a fish or a picture of your breakfast or something."
You
And I'm
guys,
like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy
you
is
guys,
like
you
different
guys are,
time
you
zone.
guys, you guys, you guys are falling asleep, and I'll be waking up. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it is kind of weird like that. But maybe we'll try and make it work. Maybe we'll try and do maybe we'll try and do it a
Japan.
podcast while I'm in Japan. That would be kind
Yeah,
of cool. I'll
yeah,
see if we can make that work. We'd have to line it up just right. It would have to
yeah,
be like boom,
yeah.
like the lunar eclipse fucking thing to get that to work. But that would be kind
The
of cool.
perfect moon
Um,
phase.
Perfect moon phase, the new moon.
So before we get off of here, where can people currently, not currently while we record this, currently while everybody's listening to this, you've been in Japan for exactly 30 days.
A
Where
month.
can people check
Yes.
the free content? Because people are whores for free content. Marshall, I know you've been
True.
posting 3 days
True.
a week for the last 3 videos a week for the last 4 weeks, but you need to post six, dude. I do not have enough free content to
I know.
watch. So
I
where
know.
can they
I
watch the
know.
free
I know.
content,
I'm
and
so
where can they
sorry.
pay 5 or 10 shekels to watch the paid content
Yes.
in the backlog of
Five,
paid
five,
content?
5 to 10 doubloons if you want to join the Patreon. That is totally fine. If you're a real homeless fisherman, paddlework crusader, you can join the Patreon. I got a fuck ton of videos on there to put it.
Yeah,
I sorry for my French, but there's a fuck ton of videos on there
a lot.
already. So you can watch the backlog, and plus I already upload every Saturday on there, plus giveaways and stuff like that. And there's like the group chat, the Patreon group chat. So if you want to come hang out or whatever, like talk to me, that's the best way to get a hold of me directly. And then of course my YouTube channel and my Instagram, The Homeless Fisherman. Go check that stuff out. Subscribe. Do whatever you want. Unsubscribe if you want. I really like,
What about
however you want to do it. I'd respect it.
the Instagram subscription? Is that the same as the Patreon stuff? I don't do the Instagram subscription stuff. I just
Oh yeah,
go through Patreon for everybody.
the
So is
Insta-
that the same stuff?
the Instagram subscription is just going to be like early access and like extras.
Okay.
It's different than the Patreon. It's a little cheaper, so it's like $2.99.
Okay.
If you want to join that, you can. It's more just like throw me a buck. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I'm out here grinding, so
In a
you know how it
foreign
is. But
country, starving,
if you yeah,
sleeping in the
yeah,
rain.
in a foreign country, eating beef bowls and ramen noodles. So I'll be out there literally grinding. It'll be the content war zone. I'll be putting out as much stuff as I can, so I can actually afford my flight back.
So I can
So
hopefully
if
be
you want to
back
support,
May 15th. Dude, while you're at
yeah.
Keepcast, we talked about this on the podcast many a moon ago, and everybody loved the idea. Everybody DM me about the bank fishing idea. So if you
Wait,
walk if the,
oh,
the bank battle, so if you are at Keepcast
gotcha.
and you see the Lure Mag guys or uh there's
Right.
another there's another
Plant this.
company.
We got to plant the seed.
Yeah, yeah, just be like,
Plant
because I
this.
guarantee somebody I know people, or I know the people that you know, so I guarantee one of them at least is familiar with the lure mag guys, and you should just kind of pick their
Oh
brain
yeah.
about like how it started, or maybe are they looking to open a U.S. branch because we have planted the seed here in the
Yeah.
American listeners' minds. And there is a probably close to 2 to 3 dozen people that DM'd me going absolutely feral for the idea to consume that free content, the bank wars, the bank battles.
Yes,
We've
dude.
kicked around some ideas and some thoughts about it, but if you could go right to the source and kind of get some of that grade A raw milk from their minds on what they would do
True.
here and then bring it back
True.
here and that's what we'll do, that'd be awesome.
The mission. The mission.
Yes,
All
the
right. The
mission.
mission. The mission is
You have two and
it's
a half
here.
months to get a little bit of information from somebody, Lure Mag.
I got it. I got it. The mission is understood. I'll be out there looking. I'll be
Heck
hunting.
yeah, man. Perfect. Well, to wrap this up, guys, Marsh has got to go pack. I have to traverse down to the southern part of the state. But anyway, as always, we want to thank Marshall for coming on. If you guys don't follow Marsh on all the above platforms that we just got done talking about, he's going to be putting out all these videos for you guys to watch for free on YouTube. So you don't even have to monetarily support the guy. You can just watch the videos, have a good time, eat your dinner after a long 9 to 5 work day, and be like, oh man, this twink's in Japan catching fish or freezing his ass off or in these cool tackle shops. That's kind of cool. So you guys can do that
True.
for free, and that's supporting him. Or, if you want to go that extra mile and you're like, hey, I really like this guy, and you want to throw him $2, $3 or 5, $10, whatever else it may be, and get entered to the chance for some giveaways. Because I would assume, like Marshall said, he was going to bring a bunch of stuff back. So it's not just going to be the 3 months worth of
Even
giveaways.
bigger
He's going to
stuff.
have a couple months worth of grab bags and stuff for you guys to win, even when he's
Oh
back
yeah.
here in the
Oh
States.
yeah.
So just keep that in
Oh
mind.
yeah.
If that's something you guys are interested in, obviously go check out the School of Homeless Fishermen on Patreon. I'll link the Patreon, YouTube, and the Instagram page all in the show notes. You guys can go follow him on there if you're not already. Guarantee everybody listening has already stumbled across your page and either enjoyed your content or say quit painting your nails, you F word. Um, but
True. True.
but anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Marshall might not do another podcast until he's back, or maybe, like you said, if the moons and stars align perfectly on the perfect solar eclipse on a day I'm not working and it's crappy in Japan or something, maybe we'll do another one from Japan, and
Look at
you guys will
that.
be hearing that probably when he's back from Japan. But either way, you'll get to experience
Absolutely.
that, and if not, there's gonna always be those YouTube videos on YouTube. But as always, I want to thank Marshall for coming on. Make sure you guys go follow him. Make sure you guys follow the podcast, Scales and Tails Media on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Patreon as well. We While we're recording this, we have cool stuff on the way. When this is live, we'll have at least one of those things still on the way. Car air fresheners, those should be up on the site. I can't imagine we'll sell out of those. So
Ooh.
if you guys' cars grubbing, stinking, your hoopty not smelling very good, you can go pick up some air fresheners.
Ethel.
But yeah, yeah. But as always, we thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Marshall, have a great time in Japan, man. Be safe. You're going to kill it, dude. Super excited to not only see the content, but get to kind of personally talk with you throughout the whole thing and kind of hear how cool it is and get to interact with you with my Japanese friends that I have not gotten to meet yet. But as always, thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Marsh, have a good time, man. And we'll see you on the next
Peace
episode in
out, y'all.
25 episodes. Alrighty,
I love
guys.
you
We'll
guys.
talk to you.